my name is Sammy, and I'm the project manager at Future Fishers. This presentation is focused on the economic implication of weather-related damages and theft on fishing vessels. My colleague supporting me on this initiative is Dr. Vivan Alexander and Mr. Imran Khan. This presentation is focused on the economic impact of weather-related damages on fishing vessels and also impact of theft. My colleague joining me on this session is Dr. Vivan Alexander and Mr. Imran Khan. The presentation is structured as outlined. This work is part of a pilot project to build capacity of local fishers and is being facilitated by the support of the Green Fund under the Ministry of Planning and Development, and is supported by the Fisheries Division with their technical guidance. The data that we are presenting today is a subset of a larger fisheries data set linked to this pilot project. During the course of collecting this data, many reports came to our attention of damaged vessels that were being encountered on the various fishing ports. Since we operated on 7 of these ports, we quickly expanded our data collection to include this part of the information. So in highlighting 7 ports, we have 202 fishers recorded within the area. We have 105 boats. Linked to that as well is 76 fishing vessels contributing to the sample, and argued by the fishers that they have an average of 4.5 fishing days per week. And of course, what is always highlighted is the amount of females. We have 13 females, of female fishers. The age range of fishers is very strong, as we between 20 and 50 years, we have quite a number of fishers on the program. Highlighting below shows that Matlot and Toko are the 2 main ports with significantly higher number of fishers and vessels as well. Since we were already collecting this data, we attempted to better understand the economic impact of the weather-related damages and theft. We implemented a questionnaire to affected fishers via a WhatsApp group, and recognizing that our group is fairly large and most fishers were easily accessed via WhatsApp as well. And of course, the WhatsApp group was also useful in helping us see videos and photos of damages. We had 26 fishers and 28 boats affected by this during a period of 1 year. The damages were mostly linked to boats, engine, and nets. The cost of damage in terms of what was estimated and actual, only the persons who repaired their vessels, we got actual costs from them. Everyone else were estimated values. The actual cause of damages here were related to rough seas and heavy rains, and of course theft played a significant role. And you can also see a larger part of the impact on fishers occurred mainly at the ports. Moving on, the economic impacts, as you can see, some fishers were able to repair within 2 months, others more than 2 months. Some fishers are still down, and within 1 month, other fishers were able to come into operation. Overall, we have 25% of the fishing vessels were affected, and when you look at who were actually full-time and part-time, you had a greater number of full-time fishers affected. But when taking into consideration the whole issue of when taken into consideration the whole issue of the cost of the damages, over $800,000 in estimated and actual costs for damages that was occurred. But if you look at an average of 3 fishing days per week, with an average of 1,060 TT dollars in average value per trip, we can, and of course, looking at between 800 and 900 down days, you are capturing almost $1.3 million in revenue loss. That actually, I think, is what stands out as very significant. So key points to note here is that the northeast region of Trinidad is one of the poorest regions in the country, and a financial loss of over 800,000 is very significant. And estimating revenue loss is equally important in understanding the economics within the area. I think also what to note is that the infrastructure, the port, doesn't always allow for protecting of vessels when heavy rain and rough sea occurs. There is certainly a reduction in employment. There's certainly issues related to income reduction and challenges in meeting family needs. The prevalence of rough seas and heavy rain as a primary cause of damages underscore the vulnerability of the fishing assets to natural hazards, and also the health and safety risk of fishers during fishing trip increases with these tough weather conditions. In a nutshell, we hope to we would like to expand this evaluation to other areas in the country, and of course there is a growing interest among fishers to improve their digitization, and of course we want to use AI in the process of expanding our operation, helping fishers to create low-cost ways of removing their boats from these types of risk is also important. And of course, we want to argue for more protected space for mooring boats within the various areas. With that, I say thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sammy, for a very informative presentation that reminded us of the reality on the ground for fishers, that they have to deal with weather and theft and loss of fishing gear. And this certainly ties in with our considerations when it comes on to subsidies and their life on the ground.
Thank you for that excellent presentation. I just wondered, did your study look at any sort of causation factors for the damage? For example, the skill and experience of the fisher, adherence to our level of adherence to safety protocols and practices, things like effectiveness of advanced warning systems. Did you look at any of that?
No, we didn't treat with the advanced warning system. However, there is information that goes to the fishers. There is another issue, which is removing a boat from the sea is a very difficult task. And if there isn't sufficient people around to help bring the boat up on shore, it's very challenging. And sometimes fishers, in their discussion with us, they indicated that they have to watch their livelihood disappear right in front of their eyes because they can't do anything about it. So overall, we did not look at the skills of fishers in this context because most of the damages occurred when the vessel were just in the depot, being on the surf side of the ocean.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to join the team and your collaboration of works going on in the Caribbean. So I've got actually a two-part question. One, the question, and thanks for the presentation. One, what's the insurance arrangement for the fishers with regards to crew, vessel, and gear? And the second question, the Caribbean is a known fishing nation. There's no question about that. We have been fishing for years, and we seem to be stuck. This is a statement, rather. We seem to be stuck in the artisanal fishing approach. But in the Caribbean, we've got the latest house arrangements, we got the latest cars. What's holding us back to have the latest fishing arrangement, which is fishing vessels and fishing gear? Because it's out there, we can have jetties. I know we got the impact of global warming and storm and hurricane and things like those, which we do, but we can gear towards that. But we're still down to 27-footer vessels, a outboard engine some years, and some others years. So what is holding us back from moving to the next level? Future fishers, this is a question for you. And the first question was, what's the insurance arrangement? Thank you.
Yes, certainly. I think insurance is a very big factor. We don't have the best insurance environment for fishers. In many cases, the risk is very high, and there may be some challenges among some fishers in maintaining insurance policies and so on. I think a lot of fishers don't see fishing as a real business, and this is an area we're trying to go into with them. The environment for insurance is not a very popular and not a very strong one. And a lot of the insurance company, although it was recently promoted that there is one company might be interested in doing that, but it has not been explored by the fishers very much. But certainly the whole issue of the small-scale fishery, I totally agree with you. That needs to be expanded in the context of upgrading or scaling up, so to speak. And therefore, we have to consider that in the long run. Getting the fishers to that point and seeing the opportunity for collaboration and joint ventures in expanding is definitely another way to think, but we have to get the fishers to that point. I am actually not sure that is the state. Thank you very much.
There are other socio-cultural factors that impact on the tendency for fishers to want to go into expand into different aspects of the fishery sector, expand into more industrial. Among them, in my personal opinion, is the socio-cultural factors. They are consequences of our history that tends to impede us when it comes to talk about cooperation with others like ourselves. And I think that's a very important factor. The socio-cultural factors have got to be borne in mind. There was an experiment that was done in Anguilla many years ago, where with help from the British government, they were seeking to encourage young people to go into the fishery sector. And one of the very simple reasons, excuse me, that militated against the young people being willing was the question of whether they're going to be out there for days and they be away from their people for an extended period of time, and what that may mean to their relationship. It may seem like a minor thing, but these are the types of socio-cultural things that impact on people's willingness to change. And we have to bear that in mind. Just that quick thought.
This was a thought-provoking series of questions and answers on the presentation. And thank you very much again for your presentation.